ID on the track. Let the story begin.
Ooh, let the story begin.
Man, how y'all boys doing, man? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well, man. Feeling good. Spirits high. Energy high.
Yeah.
For no reason. I'm in the zone right now. Yeah, I'm in a good space right now.
It's good. Yeah.
You know, all my family be here in the A in the next couple of weeks. So it's the first time we all gonna be together since I've been a kid. You know what I mean?
That's tough.
And my grandfather, that's like one of his wishes.
Right.
He don't really speak on it, but you can tell, like,
Right.
for him to be able to have that,
Yeah.
it's a proud moment because I feel like I kind of led that push for everybody else to come down here. So I'm feeling good right now.
It didn't take long either.
No, it didn't take long.
Because you only been down here, what?
Like 4 months.
I thought it was shorter than that.
I know. I thought it was like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was New Year's and then,
Dang,
Oh, wow.
that's crazy.
That's just how fast this year going by. That's what that is.
It's almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, we in
I feel like we on the way to a breakthrough. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole squad. I feel it.
I
The
feel it
energy
too.
shifting.
I feel it
You
too.
gotta understand, we put in a whole lot of work to get to this space where we're just about to reap the reward for the work.
just planting seeds. Yeah, we just planting seeds right now.
Learning from previous experiences.
Talk about it.
I'm not saying we won. We have won, but I ain't
Right.
talking about that pinnacle of success where you
Right.
have reached a certain dollar amount.
Right.
Whatever, or bought a dream home or the car you want, whatever. But I mean, just in a space where like, if you just apply these certain principles,
Yep.
they're gonna work. Like, for a fact they're gonna work. Like, we figured it out. We went through the maze already. Now we right there where it's just like it's time to apply. And just thinking about that bring you tears of joy. So that's what we're talking about today. That Rick
There we
Ross.
go.
What did I do to deserve
What
this?
did I do to deserve this? That tears of joy.
What that make you feel like, man? That song right there.
Man, it's got layers to it for me. That's my personal favorite Rick Ross song. And at the time when it came out, 2010, that was probably like the lowest point of my life as an adult. I was a young adult. I was in my early 20s, but I mean, like, we all been in that struggling college mode.
Right.
But this particular time, I was like down bad. Like,
Right.
I was sleeping on the floor on the daybed mattress in my auntie's storage closet in Florence, Alabama. Y'all home state when that came out. So it was like, I think my bank account might have been overdrafted at the time. Or I may have had like $2. I don't know, but it wasn't more than that.
Right.
And just didn't know what direction to go in. But that song kind of gave me like hope. That whole album, like, I would just play it, and it would just be like, when I heard that Tears of Joy, it was like, man, I'm down bad right now, but I know for a fact it's not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? It was like gospel to me. So that was then, but now when I listen to it, it's like I got all of that, and then I got everything that I went through from Alabama to Kentucky,
Right.
and just applying it and seeing things start to change for me, seeing my family like be created, seeing my finances grow, seeing my mental fitness and my physical fitness change, seeing my relationships with the people around me change, or the people in general around me change.
Right.
Being closer to my relatives and moving to another city and just seeing like a lot more success, not just in a monetary form. It's just like
Right.
I get in that mode where it brings tears of joy. So I listen to it differently now, like knowing like he said, like Cee-Lo said, my God, I'm scarred, but I got tattooed tears of joy. It's like we all scarred, but we know like when things happening and we winning,
Right.
it's like she's bringing you them tears of joy, So
It's funny now because I remember hearing it back then, but when it resonates when I got my whip. You know what I'm saying? When I first got my whip and I had KT and KD, we was just riding up the highway playing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just coming off of like down, like you said, man.
You talking about your whip, your whip.
Yeah.
Red being rock.
Yeah, nah, man. Before, you know what I'm saying, my car, man, just was like repossessed. Like you said, down bad. I ain't really had no car. I was in my grandmother's Honda from '96. You know what I'm saying? No AC.
No AC. Hey, I
know
had
what I
no
mean?
AC before. You gotta have no AC to appreciate.
You gotta appreciate. Yeah,
It was tough.
That's
So
real.
to go from a '96 Honda Civic, you know what I'm saying, probably like 180 on it. You know what I mean? To go from there to, you know what I'm saying, next thing you know, you in the Benz coupe. And then that's what like driving up, you know what I'm saying, the sunroof, just seeing the skyline of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, just riding down the highway, like bumping that. That was just like a whole new feeling that just summarized, like captured that whole moment. So that's what I think of like now when I play, especially when I play it in the whip, it reminds me like when I first got the whip, you know what I mean? Just, and not so much just like the whip, but just that moment of transition from a place of struggle to a place where I can actually, you know what I'm saying, have something for myself. So that's what it like represent for me.
Man, what about you, kid?
Yeah. No, I feel like rock. I feel like I definitely hear that song different.
Yeah.
In that car, it feels different because the song, to me, I mean, it's the theme of the song. It's the same thing like everybody been describing. Going from one place in your life to another place. I feel like it's that transition. And when I hear it now, when I hear him talk about like what did I do to deserve this and all that, I've been thinking about all the stupid stuff I did in my past, and then just like how many like second chances, third chances I got,
Right.
just to be like, okay, I missed. I definitely made some mistakes, but I'm fortunate. I'm blessed enough. My family is blessed enough to even allow me to get to this place where I'm at now. Even all the mistakes I made, like a lot of them I wouldn't have got out of if my mama didn't know this person.
Right.
Or that person
Right.
who was able to like finesse situations. Right. And so I just be like, I really could have messed my stuff up.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But I'm in a good spot now. Life is good when you zoom out and look at it like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Man, that song made me think about my daughter, man, because it's like you said, the mistakes you made along the way,
Right.
getting into trouble, man. Like, especially for me, like just kind of like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, St. Louis, Alabama, and you know, getting that opportunity to go to Alabama, like it was great, but still feeling so attached, like to St. Louis, like I've been trying to find myself, like trying to prove myself, and
At that age. Yep.
at that age, and just walking around with a chip on my shoulder, just being hot headed and getting into trouble that I could have been out for a long time. And then just seeing my daughter in the hospital when she was born, and it's just like, man, like, bro, like I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I treated women bad.
Right.
I treated myself bad, just the things that I was putting in my body, you know, my diet, and just how I was treating people just in general. I just, you know, KD and KT would tell you, you know, I had a night in Birmingham where I just, I had multiple nights like that, just being in just by myself, like ready to take on whoever for no reason. Just,
just mad.
you know, like, man, I could have thrown my whole life away, and then I'm sitting here with something that I created, like, dang, like, why me? You know what I mean? And so many people that want children and aren't blessed to have them, like, why me? You know what I'm saying? So that Tears of Joy put me in that space too, man.
That Cee-Lo, I was reading his interview he did with MTV. It was like, came out like the same year. And he was talking about how, because it was like, yo, you really don't rap. People was all, that was when like he was doing the Gnarls Barkley. And everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? Why you don't be rapping no more? And he was like, you know, it's just got to come. But he wanted to do this record almost as like a homecoming back to like the soulful Cee-Lo that everybody knew. Right. And he was like, he was trying to do it to kind of remind people of like that Goody Mob, Cee-Lo or whatever. Like, how y'all feel about him on the hook?
Man, Cee-Lo is one of the GOATs, man. You know, also I heard Rick Ross talking about this record, and it's crazy that the beat was old. No ID made the beat for J. Cole
Woo.
in a session
Damn, J.
with Cole.
You fucked up.
And Cole said Cole was like he
man.
wasn't in the headspace at that time to produce what needed to be produced on that beat. That was the first album, so he said the label was on him on his back, like you gotta have a hit, you gotta have a hit, and he said he couldn't even he couldn't even do the beat justice like Ross did. And I heard Ross saying that he bumped into CeeLo and gave CeeLo the record. Like he already had
verses,
the verses and everything. So just that CeeLo's a genius. CeeLo just piggybacked off the verses and just came with the hook.
He said all he needed to hear was that Tears of Joy, and he was like, all right.
That's all I need.
Wrong with that.
That's it, man. CeeLo was like singing and rapping before Drake. And it's like, it's crazy because you could literally have a argument like who's the better singer and who's the better rapper. You know what I'm saying? But it's just interesting, like, you know, we talk about this like artists who kind of just keep their artistic, you know what I'm saying, instead of, you know, like trying to make or try to play the game and stuff like that. So like you said, he's just a GOAT in the fact that he has that ability and that skill to sing and rap and to kill both. And to do poetry.
Man, come on.
Like for this type of record that's like poetic, you know what I'm saying? The vibe of the instruments, you dig what I'm saying? He just got that essence, man, that could really capture what you need to.
Yeah, CeeLo is.
That's how
usually
I feel
can't
about
go
CeeLo.
wrong. And this was the CeeLo right before he dropped that Lady Killer album, like with that bodies on there.
That was tough.
So it's like that soulfulness. He was like, I got something for y'all coming after this.
Yeah.
Just wait. And I think Rick Ross too, he was talking about how this album in particular, which maybe is one of his best albums.
No, I think it is his best album. It's a classic, no skips.
And he talked about how meticulous he got with this album as far as like all the little instruments and sounds to the features to everything. And I saw a little clip of them in the studio working on it. And it just looked like one of them type sessions, like Rick Ross was rolling up.
Right.
And then CeeLo was in there just like going in like this. I was like, yeah.
That speaks to DJ Khaled's genius because DJ Khaled was the A&R on that project.
Makes sense.
What else do you say?
First single on that album.
That's super high.
That's super high.
DJ Clark Kent.
That beat.
DJ Clark Kent.
Is that with Neo?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
With the NWA sample.
Yeah.
That joint's crazy.
The gangster.
Staying on
dog.
Yeah, Tears of Joy though. Gotta talk about these samples, my boy. Start off with the Bobby Seale.
Bobby Seale, man.
Black Panther Party.
One of the Black Panther.
You know what I'm saying? Helped found it. And what he was talking about, like what power is and
Power is the ability to define phenomena
make it act in a desired manner. The sample was
Willie Hutch.
Willie Hutch.
I know people probably gonna be like,
You gotta know Willie Hutch.
gotta know Willie Hutch. So I did
For
some
so
more
many
digging on
reasons.
Willie Hutch. Rob.
He
This
that
boy
guy.
Willie Hutch, man. He was like a silent killer.
I believe it. Because I only hear about him by reputation.
Okay, so check this out. The sample came from the Foxy Brown soundtrack. Black exploitation film.
Right.
See, they hear it and think Foxy Brown, they think the rapper. No. No, we talking about
Foxy
Pam
Brown, the
Grier.
movie.
Yeah.
Foxy Brown. So he did that soundtrack and he did the Mac soundtrack.
Yeah, he was that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Motown artist. He was a writer for
And
Motown
producer.
and a producer.
Oh, I got a gem for y'all too.
I got one too. I don't know who wanted
Willie
to go
Hutch.
first.
I just
who
thought about
who
it.
got the big? Hey, who got the big?
I think I got the biggest one though.
I don't think yours bigger than mine, but I'm gonna tell you because I'm finna bring it all full circle. It's gonna be crazy, but
I'm going first.
all right, check this out. First of all, Willie
What I gotta
Hutch.
tell you, all right, check this out.
I had
Go
just
ahead.
remembered this because I used to look up all these samples.
Yeah.
First of all, Willie Hutch like hella sample in general.
Right.
Because I think this song was actually this was sampled also on Blue Laces too with Nipsey. But so
My favorite Nipsey song on that album.
Willie Hutch he produced this song by Smokey Robinson called Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow. That song is the sample on Devil in a New Dress.
Woo!
featuring Rick Ross.
Woo! Hey, my bad.
It all comes
you
full
got me.
circle.
Okay, you got me on that one because I was gonna bring up the Blue Laces too and how Nip shouted out Ross and the Blue Laces too. And when we get done with this, just go listen to all three. But what I was gonna say about Willie Hutch was he wrote for Smokey, like he said, Marvin Gaye. And this
He
one
that
was
guy?
for Rob. This one was for Rob.
Uh-oh.
Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5.
Oh,
So
boy.
Ken, just guess. Just think
Hey,
about
he
the
that
Jackson
guy.
5 and just guess. I'm gonna see if you can guess the joint.
Jackson 5 and Marvin
Yeah,
Gaye.
yeah, that
Come
era.
on, bro. You
He
know
wrote
you
"I'll
see
Be
it.
There."
Damn.
Man.
That's that guy, man.
Hey, that publishing
Willie
must
Hutch.
be nice.
But everybody know Willie Hutch samples because
Yeah.
he got some famous joints.
Yeah, Back Like That with Ghostface and Neo.
That International Players Anthem.
I ain't know that.
That's all Willie Hutch.
And recently, for everybody, like recently, if you listen to that Dolphin Megan Thee Stallion, that R&B, that's Willie Hutch at the beginning. That baby, baby, baby. Yeah, it's
Yeah, man.
crazy. It's
That's
crazy how
crazy
it all
how-
comes full circle.
That
know?
DNA, man. Just
Yeah.
staying in music and staying in the future of music. You dig what I'm saying? That's why I think it's so dope about samples too. Is the fact like you keep the DNA of the past. You know what I'm saying? You just keep integrating it for the future.
Yeah.
So do you think, Kev, as a producer, like Ross said, no ID on the track, let the story begin. And that's kind of like his tag. And do you think it's a coincidence or that no ID, like, it seemed like all of his joints are stories?
Nah, man, it kind of like, he wanted, the inspirations, like why one of my little taglines is like creating soundtracks for storytellers. And like, if you think about Rick Ross saying that line, no idea on track, let the story begin, you think about that Kanye on that Big Brother, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's the feel that No ID give. Even some of the other stuff he done that's like lesser known, like what he did with one of them Comment albums and stuff like that. It's just great. It's a great backdrop for you to just talk about life, talk about situations, you know what I'm saying? So, and No ID is like, he slept on was one of the best samplers
Right.
in general, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so,
What's
it's
your
just-
favorite? Give me your top three. Give me your top three. No ID.
I don't know, bruh.
That's too hard. That's too hard.
That's tough.
That's
That's
too
tough.
hard. That's too hard.
Oh man, cause dang, yeah, I don't know, bro.
That catalog crazy.
Yeah, it's
Damn,
catalog
who
go
gonna get
back.
Some in the verses.
Ooh,
That'll
we
be
hadn't
tough.
even talked about No ID in the verses setting,
Yeah, that needs to happen.
but he got. That's what we were just talking about before we started filming, talking about them album cuts. Like No Idea give you like classic album cuts, bro.
Yeah, and B-sides. He's B-side king. Man, that's another thing I was thinking about that record. And it's just like that soul. Like I was listening to the Willie Hutch's version and just that passion, man. Just he talking about this woman, just that passion behind his voice, man. And I guess that's just something from that era that can't be duplicated, but those keys and that guitar on there. And so we got the Willie Hutch sample, but they also got two people that actually play
Yeah,
it.
they got a couple live
And
musicians.
so
on
the live musician, the guy who was playing the guitar, man, his name is Steve Wireman. And
there. I feel like I heard that name.
yeah, I feel like I did a little bit of digging, and he's played the guitar on a lot of people's records, but he did a lot of that early Keisha Cole. My favorite was that I Changed My Mind with Kanye.
Play the guitar on that.
Yeah, and then them keys, man, like Kevin Randolph, man. A lot of work with Hove, Big Sean, people like that. So it's just funny how those little parts in songs
important.
like play a role like that you don't realize. Like a lot of the greats use the same people. You know, even like the, Kay Fox, who did the background vocals on this Tears of Joy. She basically did, this person basically did the background vocals on the whole Forest Hills Drive album.
Wow.
A lot of work with Kanye, a lot of work with Nas. It's just like those little pieces are important.
Yeah.
To bring life
Right.
into these.
Those are people that just
to these
circulate
records.
Yeah,
through
they
the
in
industry.
They in them circles.
Yeah.
They in them industry circles. Well, the public may not know, but your artists know.
Yeah, your artists know
Your
them
players
checks
know.
coming
It's a
in.
reason why we love these joints. It's those
Yeah.
little pieces who are
Right.
important, who need their love and who need their flowers, because it wouldn't happen without them. Man, so this album came out in 2010, bro.
What was the other single on this album though?
Which the Aston
We were just
Martin
talking-
music,
Yeah,
that Super High.
And what else?
Am I missing one?
Y'all missing a big
Maybach
one.
Music 3.
That BMF.
That BMF,
BMF
my
was on here,
lord.
too.
And MC Hammer.
It was jam packed, bruh.
Yeah.
This album right here.
And it was short. It was only 11 songs.
Woo.
That's how
I'm
that
Not a
seems to
Star.
be. That seems to be like the formula. Like you think about Illmatic, you think about Thriller. You know what I'm saying? A lot of classic albums ain't really that long.
Don't make it too long, just make it potent.
Get straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2010, man, like, I was looking around the Billboard charts at that time, man, and it was an interesting time in the industry. Like, that was Thank Me Later was running the charts at that time. Eminem Recovery was running the charts at that time. And Sade, I was like, that's the last time Sade dropped?
Wow.
Yeah.
My favorite
that.
songstress
I
right
remember
there.
that album too.
Yeah, man. It's
Sade.
just so interesting. Summer of 2010, man.
Bro, Rick Ross got like 10 albums.
He got a lot of music, bro.
He been doing this thing for a
About
minute.
10 on?
Yeah.
Where does Ross stand in this whole hip hop?
Ooh.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
probably-
Conversation.
To me, he probably he like top 40.
Yeah, I might have him in top 25. He might be in my
Like-
top 25.
Yeah, I don't know where. I'm not saying he close to 40. I ain't saying he 20. I just know definitely top 40. Cause I immediately thought about this coming off the verses, but it's like the caliber like Method Man and Redman, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bunch of DMX.
Of course.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I won't put him. And then even just talking about the conversations of the South, like you know what I'm saying? How do you rank Gucci?
Is he the Down South Nas?
Nah,
Who the Down South Nas?
I don't think that's one of them. I was about to say if I had to say the closest thing would be CeeLo. Like in terms of just being intricate with the flows, it'll have to be CeeLo 3 Stacks, but ain't nobody.
He
down
called
south.
himself the Down South Nas, so I was just...
Who that, Ross?
He got a few
Oh,
joints
word?
with Nas too.
I said it because I always hear him refer to himself as like the down south Biggie.
Yeah, he said, well, in cigar music, I was just bumping that on the way. He was like, I'm the Down South Nas. I was like,
Nigga talking that talk.
okay. Okay. I'm not...
Yeah. This one of them albums.
The
This
album
one
was
of them
crazy.
albums.
I got a question, man. I've been wanting to ask you all. I ain't seen y'all in a couple weeks, and I just wanted to ask, man. So, Ross and Hove versus Ross and Drake.
I think he got more songs with Drake. And really, I was gonna bring that up too. I feel like him and Drake almost don't miss. Like they don't miss, bruh.
They don't, but I like the vibe because Ross and Jay like they be on the same thing. Like Drake gonna say some nice stuff, but he also gonna give you the relationships. He also gonna give you that. Hey,
Every time.
that I only like her for eyes brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
forgot what he said. Y'all do that while y'all play around with my crown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That Three
Them
Kings.
Jay-Z verses with Ross.
That
You know,
It's
I
crazy.
got it. Maybach music.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a sparring session. When Ross and Drake get on, you already know Drake gonna carry the melody side of it.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
And I feel
Especially in them earlier
Bro,
joints.
I feel like Ross bring them bars out of Drake.
I feel like
sometimes Drake
no,
just do
to
the
the
hook.
point. I feel like he gives Drake's the stage. Like when I think of Dice Pineapples, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Ross said, but I feel like he really opens up and let Drake does his thing and curate around Drake.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like with him and Jay, I feel like they be matching on the same energy.
That's what I like about Ross though, because he said this in the interview too. Like they was like, "Do you ever get concerned like somebody gonna come in and feature on your track and like outdo you?" He was like, "No, I want you to outdo me." He was like, "That's what I'm bringing you in for. I'm trying to like bring the best out of you." I think that's that A&R in him that's like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to curate. Like I'm trying to make this the best.
Like
and he
that,
said, "I want to make the best music
He do that.
I can make."
Like the record he got with Still one of my favorite Nas verses.
Mm.
Project minded, individual, criminal tactics. Is black kids born with
Is that
birth
that Triple
defects,
B?
we
That's that Triple B in
hyperactive.
Dreams?
Yup. We hyperactive, mentally sex crazed, dysfunctional. They describe us. They lie at the end of the day. We'll fucking survive. Who that was?
You know that was a mixtape song?
Yeah. Yeah. I like
That's
the
crazy.
I low key like the mixtape version about like the album. It was just a little overproduced, but nah. That's what you said. That's what Ross would do. He gonna set that stage for you.
He gonna
I
do
feel
that.
like he a fan and he love making movies.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody has better. Nobody selects music better than him. I would love to see him
I can't think.
A&R and executive produce a Nas album or a J album or somebody like that. Like he got the best ear in hip hop history to me.
Yeah.
Ross got that soul. Like I said, I would love to hear him A&R, you know, executive produce some projects like a Nas project. But
Man, hey, that'll be crazy. I think a lot of people I heard Charlamagne talk about that a lot. But I just know, man, being from down south, man, if Ross, A&R, like a Boosie album,
Nuts.
that jump be, cause it be so real that keep Boosie fans that love Boosie, like allow him to do what he do. And Ross will have the beats where I know they could be commercial success. Where there ain't no compromise on either end.
man,
And Boosie come with so much that, like you was talking about earlier, that passion that's gonna come into these songs. It's gonna be heartfelt, and then they're gonna have mess around and get him on a Justice League beat or something.
That shit gonna sound so poetic.
man, see, Boosie really got bars.
Right.
Boosie could really rap. Boosie really, but you know, now you know a lot of people like may follow him for the antics, for the Instagram and all that, but they don't really realize like he really speak to the gutter.
To the people, man.
You know, you got to be from the South. And I know St. Louis, like the trenches of St. Louis, loved Boosie. I know I've been to Detroit, and them cities, them jungles, they love Boosie.
Yeah.
You know, and he definitely needs just due and his flowers, man.
What was the album he dropped before this?
I want to say it was Deeper Than Rap.
I think it was
Okay,
deeper than
come on.
I
rap.
think this was probably like his blueprint. I think this was like
Yeah.
really stamped him like he was
Right.
as
Like,
a
I'm
superstar.
here.
Yeah, like he was messing with Diddy heavy. They had the Bugatti Boys and Ciroc. And
Yeah, I think he had just signed to Diddy's like management group or something like that.
yeah,
It was like the first one. Yeah, he was the worst one on the Ciroc thing.
yeah, and then you know the features with Khaled on the big records. So I think that was like this might.
They started linking up. That's
Yeah.
when Khaled starting to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, so I think I think Teflon Don is probably the most important part of his career to me because I think everything was a build up until Teflon Don, and then Teflon Don he delivered.
Right.
Because he was hot, and it was like, okay, this is the album, and then he had the features. He had A-list from Hove to Drake to Erykah Badu to T.I. He had everybody on this album, so it was like, is he gonna deliver? And I don't know if you all remember, but leading up to it, man, he was just dropping these crazy mixtapes. Like, I think one was like the Albert and Stina or something like that.
I
And,
remember that.
and you know, MC Hammer was on a mixtape that he had, and he had the John Does and all that. And no, maybe I don't think John Doe might have been after that, but around this time, like he was dropping like crazy mixtapes.
I remember
and
that
just
mixtape, one that was like gray with his face and concrete.
Yeah,
I think that's what State Scheme. I think.
I think that was right, but I think that was after this. So,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he was on the mixtape run. Yeah, he was bubbling. He was bubbling. So, yeah,
RP to the
delivered
mixtape.
To the mixtape. That used to be a nice little filler. Nice little placeholder.
That was important.
Crazy.
That was
man.
an important time. You had to come with.
That was the warm up for the album. That used to be the rollout, basically.
Yeah.
You had to feed
Even
the streets.
Cee-Lo had a mixtape before the Lady Killer album. He was just like, this is just something to let y'all know what's coming.
Yeah,
like,
you had to feed the streets back then.
Right.
Because
Really
we
had,
we didn't have streaming like that.
Yeah.
You had Livewire and stuff like that where we was downloading mixtapes and bootlegging albums, but I mean, it wasn't like.
And this was really at that point where it was beyond the LimeWires, and it was like mixtapes was a
buying
known
stuff
thing.
now, yeah.
Yeah, it was like live mixtapes and that piff.
And you can
Exactly.
convert
all
those
that.
to MP3s and just play them on your AirPods.
Playing on your device, whatever your
Whatever
device
device
was
you was using.
Right.
at the
Yeah.
time.
That's why I think we come from an interesting time because we like right in the middle. You know, like
Yeah.
we the middle child era, like we always talk about. Like I heard my boy Reggie's son say, our era was the troubleshoot era. Like our era, you had to listen to the radio to get what your baller alerts in your shade rooms was the radio in your city. You know,
To get all your latest news
to hear the
and-
new song. If Luda was coming out with a new single, you had to listen to the radio.
Yeah, join on the radio.
You
Yep.
know, and wait for it. You know, we had to record songs off the radio. We had to make mix CDs.
Yep.
You know, even when, like you said, the mixtapes was online. Like
Yep.
you had to
the
you had to really work to get music. It wasn't like
Had to download it.
Yeah, you had to know what
Then
you was
had to
doing.
Upload it back to your, you know what I'm saying, Apple device or whatever, Walkman, whatever you was using. I'm thinking 2010, like we coming off the recession. I'm trying to think about what music was, because I think definitely everything hurt because there was no more disposable income coming out of 2008. And I think that's when, I don't know, I think that's when like things started to, I think it was going through a transition. I don't know if streaming had started at that
Yeah,
time.
it really started.
No, it
at that
hadn't
point.
really
Yeah.
started. It was
coming off
like
the LimeWire stuff. I think it
Yeah.
was it was a place of influx.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people was getting music in so many different ways.
A lot of different
The
ways.
labels were starting to lose their control a little bit with payola and stuff like that.
That was an interesting time, man. It was like you said, people was consuming music so many different ways. Because I was doing stuff. I thought, I was making MP3 CDs. CDs with like 50, 70 songs on it,
Exactly.
which was a short-lived time. But it was that was kind of like for me making a playlist. It's like I make the playlist in my iTunes and then make a CD off of it.
Yep.
And you could just ride to that motherfucker.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was.
It's
We had to
crazy.
Make our own playlist.
Make your own and ride. You can't change up the order now.
Nah.
yeah, it's over with. You gotta
Yeah,
take it.
it's
And
what
then
it was.
Like you had people, you know, like just you had your Waynes who was just dropping music all the time. You had your Futures.
Yeah.
And them cats from the South was really like
Oh yeah, we took that shit over.
Oh, yeah.
After
Dropping.
Like 04,
putting
was-
pressure on everybody. Like
50 had his moment, but right before that and really after that, because around that time you got Wayne coming out, T.I., Ludacris, Gotti, Gucci, Jeezy, Boosie.
It was heavy.
Webby.
It was heavy.
It's heavy.
Heavy.
and all these people
Dolph
on the
coming.
streets.
I was
like,
just living and breathing the South music at that time.
Man.
I couldn't even barely
That's
see
what I
nothing
say,
else.
bro. Anything else trying to come through? Nah.
Yeah, it was like you play it in if it ain't got that South sound.
It was.
I'm just speaking from being in Alabama. Like
it was
kinda like,
that same way.
It was like Cause I'm trying to think. Cause like I said, after 50 little joint, when nobody popping from New York for real, Game was cool, but he was part of the G Unit. You know what I'm
that whole
saying?
thing, man. So,
And it was like it was only him. And I'm trying to think outside
It might
of
have been Dipset. That was about.
that was
At
right.
least my
right
way,
before.
Dipset was always.
Dipset was doing their
came-
thing.
I remember that was about 08. That was about 07 or 08 when Dipset came through. That's when cause I remember because I had just got shout out to Lanier, man. I had got to Lanier and everybody watching that Killer Cam. We were trying to do too much. Following that Killer Cam, but that
Yeah.
2010.
that joint's a trip.
Yeah, especially that 2010 because those Southern artists started to become established.
They was becoming superstars at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
superstars.
Yeah.
You started seeing more brands.
Because
You know.
the mid 2000s was all of them was doing mixtapes.
Because that's
Hella
after
mixtape.
T.I. coming off a Paper Trail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That came
I remember
out in
that
08.
Yeah.
because I was going
Yeah.
to college. I remember that.
2010, Ross dropping this.
Yeah, Drake. That was a Drake.
Drake coming in the
Yeah,
scene.
Drake was starting
Cole. Getting ready to drop
Yeah.
his first
to, Drake was
album,
just
so-
getting warmed up with them
Bro,
Wayne features.
coming off of Houston.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
So Ross,
That was the
man.
time.
Ross being able to find his lane and being able to stamp himself in that transitional era
Yep.
just goes to show the how great of an artist he was, man. Tears of joy.
10 years later, he's still here.
10 years later.
Still relevant with the music.
He really here like it's been 15 years since he really got in the game.
Yeah.
That's a good career in rap.
It's a great
He could
career.
make another Every Day I'm Hustling.
And that was he said that was a song, he wrote that song before going to a Trina show and then performed. He had just one verse and performed it. He seen a dude looking at him like just amazed, and he was like, all right, I'm about to keep doing it. Yeah, this
Man.
it. This
Ross
it.
pays a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No tears
Yeah.
of joy, man.
Yeah.
What did I do to deserve this, man? Great
I can't
talk,
say.
man. Great talk, man.
That's a good
Great
one.
talk, fellas, man.
Fact.
It's another breakdown.
There you go.
You know the
Yeah, it
vibes.
There you go.